Hey y'all, welcome back to Mama Loves Manga, and welcome to day 3 of 25 days of manga. Day 3, y'all. I've managed to make it to day 3, and I'm very, very proud of myself. So today I'm here to share with y'all sort of my reading goals. More specifically, I'm here to share with y'all the unread series that are on my shelves that I have completed. I have all of the volumes. I just haven't sat down to read the series yet. And you know, to be honest, like I thought that my TBR was worse than it is. I'm pretty proud of myself. I also want to add that a lot of these are Clamp titles because when I decided that I wanted to buy all of Clamp's titles, you know, I bought them. And bought them faster than I could actually sit down to read them. So now I'm playing catch up. Okay, like it's honestly Clamp's fault that my TBR is what it is. On the top, I have Kobato. This is by Clamp, like I said. This is a 6-volume series. This cover is kind of janky looking because this is a library copy. This is a series that is out of print. And I should have grabbed the first volume so that I could read to y'all what this is about. So hold on just a second. Meet Kobato Hanato, a sweet and rather simple young girl on a quest to have her single dearest wish granted. But first, she must learn the ways of the world from Iroyogi-san, a gruff blue dog whose bark is just as bad as his bite. Under his tutelage, read constant verbal abuse, Kobato puts her efforts into passing various trials of common sense so that she may obtain the key to getting her wish. A magic bottle that must be filled with the suffering of wounded hearts Kobato herself has healed. Okay? But with Kobato's common sense sorely lacking, she keeps flunking Iroyogi-san's trials left and right. It looks like the road that lies ahead of Kobato will be a long one indeed. So this is a comedy. And I tend to really like Clamp's comedic series. Actually, I think I prefer their comedies over their more dramatic stories. But I'm gonna I have a whole lot of opinions on Clamp, but I'm holding them until I finish all of their series because I definitely want to do either a video or a blog post or something about my feelings on Clamp's works that I have read in English. Why is my battery already dying? It's only been like 5 minutes. The heck? Next up, I have Magic Knight Rayearth Part 2. So I've already read Part 1 and I love it. I also own now the first part of the collector's edition, which I think I'm gonna post a little unboxing and like look through video for this. So yeah, stay tuned. I did film a little bit of an unboxing. It's gorgeous. I'm super excited. I'm so glad that I went ahead and purchased that. But anyway, I have not read Part 2 and I'm excited to do so. I think part of me is afraid because, you know, the first one was so great that I'm scared this one won't be as good. And I have read reviews on Amazon, which to be honest, I should never read reviews on Amazon because no shade to anyone who writes reviews on Amazon. But I don't be believing those. Moving on. I have Angelic Layer. This is split up into 2 omnibus versions, and this is again another thing that I have not read by Clamp, and I'm very excited to do so. I think I'm going to like this one. If I'm not mistaken, this is, yeah, it says on the back that it's a prequel to Chobits, and I love Chobits. So I'm excited to see kind of how this ties in with Chobits because I have no idea. I love that Clamp tends to tie in their characters into different worlds, and I stan. Moving on, I have Gate 7. This is there are 4 volumes currently available, but this is on hiatus, probably forever, like many of Clamp's titles, and that's okay. I'm still excited to read the 4 volumes that I have. Just flipping through, the art is, of course, amazing. I'm really trying hard to say things other than absolutely stunning because that's something that I say a lot. Next, I have Tsubasa World Chronicle Nidai Kanai. I have not read this one because I haven't read the first Tsubasa. It's essentially a continuation of the original Tsubasa, which I have it on this pile, but I'm currently reading it. I have the first omnibus somewhere around here. I started reading it while I was at my dad's on Thanksgiving vacation, but I didn't get to read as much as I would have liked to. I thought that I was going to be able to finish that whole volume, but that didn't happen. I think Tsubasa in general is almost like fan fiction for Cardcaptor Sakura, because I think the characters in this, Siorin, however you say his name, Siorin and Sakura are a little older in this series, if I'm not mistaken. I actually have not read Cardcaptor Sakura, but it's not on this list because I don't have it completed. And I won't have it completed until all of the collector's editions come out. But anyway, the point is that although I haven't read Cardcaptor Sakura, I still think that this feels kind of fan fiction-y. Wholesome fan fiction, not like smutty fan fiction, but just like them playing around with the same characters but in different situations, and if they were slightly different. Did any of that make sense? Probably not. Whatever. Y'all are still watching, I hope. Next I have Holic Ray. This is another sort of spin-off tie-in to Holic, as well as I think Tsubasa. Like, they really do tie in together a lot. I want to say that this is sort of like filling in gaps that you might see in Holic. I don't think it's necessarily a continuation of Holic from the end. I think it's like, hey, let's fill in these gaps, and these are other things that happened throughout the story that we couldn't put in the actual original manga, so we're gonna put it in here. At least that's what it feels like. And there are only 4 volumes because this is also on hiatus indefinitely, which means it's probably never gonna get finished, which is fine. It's fine. Moving away from Clamp, I have Tsubasa Those with Wings by Natsuki Takaya. I've had this for a while, and I did start the first volume this summer, but I didn't get the chance to finish it. So I'm really excited to sit down and read that. This is basically it's an adventure fantasy centered around a young girl, or a young adult, a young woman who is, I think, an orphan, and she grew up as a thief, and she gets into some trouble, and because she gets into this trouble, she ends up meeting or becoming acquainted with sort of like a police knight type guy. And through an interesting turn of events, after she has decided to try to clean up her life and, you know, be a law-abiding citizen, she ends up meeting him again in very different circumstances, and now they're sort of on the run on this adventure to find the Tsubasa, which is a thing that will grant wishes, I believe. Next I have Chibi Vampire. This is by Yuna Kagesaki. This has 14 volumes, and this is a series that I have wanted to read for a long time. I watched the anime years ago, probably illegally, which is embarrassing, but it happened. And I'm pretty sure I watched it illegally. Ugh. I used to have, I think, 1 or 2 volumes of this, and over time, like, I either got rid of them or we moved and I lost them. I don't know. And I'm really, really excited to read this because, oh, what the heck? Oh, wow. I think, oh, crazy. So the back, this is random. So, you know how like manga a lot of the times has previews of other series in the back? This one has a preview of Dead Man Wonderland. That's interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting. I didn't know that Tokyo Pop had published Dead Man Wonderland. I didn't know that. I guess they published it before Viz? Interesting. same. Anyway, okay, well that's that. Let's move on. I have Happy Mania. This is an 11 volume series by Moyoko Anno. I have talked about her sort of briefly before. Next I have Spell of Desire. This is a 5 volume series by Tomu Omi. I read the first volume when I was in Japan at the Kyoto Manga Museum. My husband and I went there, and while he was running around like actually learning things about manga, I was sitting down reading it, okay? Which is what I do. I loved it. Ended up buying the first couple of volumes, and I had those for a while. I was doing an unhaul and I decided that I would not keep those and that I would just read it on my Kindle. But then I never bought it to read on my Kindle, and then Right Stuff had a sale and this whole series was really cheap, so I decided to purchase the whole series. And finally, last but not least, I have Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind by Hayao Miyazaki. So I was supposed to have read this like a month or so ago maybe, and I started it but did not finish. And actually I have a bookmark in the space where I stopped. This is how far into it I got. Not, you know, not very far at all. Not at all. I just wasn't really in the mood for such an epic fantasy when I started this. And so I think what I'm gonna have to do is get through the other series that I have unread that are a little bit more fast-paced, and then save this for later when I can really just sit down and dive into it, because this is very much what I would consider to be a high fantasy series with pictures, you know? So it's basically like reading, like back when I used to read authors like Anne Bishop, just very wordy, you know, very detailed and in depth, and you just have to be in the mindset and have, you know, you have to have the time to sit down and really pay attention. So these are all of my unread but complete series, and I'm really not that upset with this. I guess if I had every single volume out here, I'd probably be a little bit more embarrassed, but you know, anyway, I guess I'm gonna try to get a thumbnail. Okay. And on that note, I'm gonna go sit down and read your manga. Bye. Oh.